Today I'm going to be showing you two different Christmassy crafty idea things. I'm not sure. I've never actually done a DIY video before, so I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, but here we go anyway. So we're going to start off with this pretty origami star card thing. To do this you are going to need, firstly, a pentagon stencil, which you can print off from the link I'll leave in the description, some pretty Christmassy patterned origami paper, a neutral coloured card, I think neutral colours look the best with this, a glue stick, a nice coloured pen for the message in the back, a pair of scissors, and finally some nice string or ribbon. This one's optional. Let us begin. Start off by getting a pentagon stencil and working out which size of pentagon would work best with your origami paper. Basically, you want to choose the biggest one that's going to fit. And now cut out your chosen pentagon. All done. Now just use any pen to draw a line around the pentagon onto your origami paper. And now just cut out around the lines to make pentagon paper. Yay! Start by flipping the paper over to the non-pattern side, or the side you want to see the least of, and then just fold your pentagon in half. Now just unfold that and then fold it in half another way around. And then you just keep folding it all the way around, rotating it each time. In the end you should have a kind of star shape crease thing. The next step is to fold the flat side upwards so that the centre crease is aligned and the two corners of the bit you're folding up are touching the two creases above it. Here I'm just pointing out roughly where the 2 points you should be folding up to are. The fold should look like this, and then you just need to repeat that all the way round. As you can see, you should have created what looks like a sort of mini pentagon with the creases you've made. This step is really difficult to describe. Basically, you fold in along the crease you just made, and then fold in on the next crease along, and sort of squash it down to create a new crease below it. It's really hard to explain, but just look at the video. Unfold that, and again, do it all the way round. I don't know how I'm going to explain this step. You have to begin by pinching all the corners of the pentagon, and now you should be able to see the smaller pentagon inside. And now, keeping all the corners pinched, you just have to sort of push them all to the left. It should squash into a star. It took ages for me to get this on my first go, but it was so exciting when it happened, and I was like, oh my god, it's a star. You're nearly there. All you have to do now is flip it over. And now take the edge corner thing, you can see which bit I mean in the video, and just fold that into the centre point. And do the same thing all the way round. The last one is a tiny bit more fiddly. You have to sort of semi-unfold the one before it and then just fold it underneath, but it should be fine. And there's your star, isn't it beautiful? The good thing about this is that once you've done it, you don't really forget it and you can just churn them out. It's just amazing. And now glue your star onto your card. When it's stuck, I like to cut it to make it a square so it's exactly in the middle because I'm OCD like that. Your card is done! Add the finishing touches by writing a sweet little message in a pretty colour, and I did some stars because I'm Ella. And finally, I used some Christmassy string to tie around it, and I didn't have enough to do a bow, but I just did a knot, and it looked really nice. Craft thing number 1 complete. The next thing we're going to be doing is this really cool Christmassy snowflake thing. The things you need for this are 8 sheets of white A4 paper, some double-sided sellotape, or you could use a glue stick, a ruler, a pencil, a stapler. Make sure to check you have staples because I never seem to. And that is all the equipment. Start off by measuring a 14cm by 14cm square, and then just cut that out. Start by drawing a border 2 to 2.5 centimeters in. It doesn't really matter about the measurements as long as you keep them the same on all of the squares. Now along one of the lines of the border, draw a point 3.5 centimeters from the edge of the paper. Opposite that, draw another point 3.5 centimeters from the opposite end. You should be left with an L shape, as you can see. Do the exact same thing on the other side so you have an L shape on both sides. I know this may seem complicated, but just use what it looks like in the video. The measurements don't matter too much. Poke your scissors into the paper and then cut along the L shape, as you can see. Do the exact same thing on the other side. Now draw a new border roughly 2 centimeters into the square you just created. This time mark the edge of your L shape to go about 3 centimeters away from the edge of the inner square. I know this does sound really complex, but again I am just saying the measurements as a rough guide. If you want, you can literally just copy what it looks like on the video and then photocopy the sheet to ensure they're all the same. Now you have marked the edges of your L shape 3 centimeters away, you can now cut it out along the line again. Again, do the same on the other side. Now you should have something that looks like this. I am really sorry I keep saying this, but you really can just copy what this looks like from the screen if you want to. I just feel like I'm being way too complicated, I know, I'm sorry. I then photocopied the measurements I just created, cut out 7 more squares with L's on. Now you've got your 8 equal building blocks, you can start building the beautiful snowflake. You have reached the easy bit. All you need to do now is put some glue on the corners and then stick the 2 corners together. Next, do the corners inside. Do these in the opposite direction. Finally, do the innermost corners. I realised at this point that it would probably be easier to do it from inside outwards, so you could do that if you wanted. Now you've done your first one, all you have to do is repeat that with the other 7. As I'm doing here, you can also use double-sided sellotape to stick the corners together as well. I have now done it to all my bits and I have created all the parts ready to put the snowflake together. Take the first 4 and holding them at the edges just staple where they meet. So it should look like this. Do the same to the second 4. And finally take both bundles and staple them in the middle. And there is your finished snowflake. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know I'm not the best at DIYs, but if you do decide to try out one of these, then you can tweet it or Instagram it to me using the hashtag #CollabAndAffairs and I will definitely check it out. See you guys next week! Say bye with me. Bye!